score killers, blunders to avoid in Christ entrance examination. So I'm sure by now you are well versed with what is the paper pattern of the Christ entrance test. I am sure you have given at least 2-3 mocks by now. Uh, yeah. So with an assumption, let's get started with the blunder. The blunder number one: don't change your strategy at the last moment. Okay, if you have been following particular strategy in each of the following section, because there's a sectional time limit, follow the strategy. For example, English, there are 25 questions you have to attempt in 10 minutes. So if you are attempting the question in the the way it is coming, just try to follow that and don't change it on the day of exam. Otherwise, you know you will probably lose some marks there. So don't change your strategy at the last moment. Okay, blunder number two: don't try to regulate your attempts. So Christ exam is generally a very easy exam. In 90 minutes, students are able to attempt, I would say, around 80 to 100 questions. In 90 minutes, a good student generally attempt 100 odd questions, 95 to 100 odd questions that a student is ideally able to attempt. However, what if the level of difficulty of the exam is higher this year? In that case, you should ensure that your accuracy is very high. Don't panic under the pressure and try marking, you know just don't bluff the question because your attempt are less. There is a possibility that your this year the exam is difficult. Since you have written 2, 3, 3, 4 mocks of IMS, you know that this is the level of difficulty of IMS mocks, and this was a similar difficulty of the Christ actual exam last 2 years, because our mocks are based on last 2 years question type. Now, if the exam on the day of on the 7th is very difficult, you know that this section is difficult as compared to IMS one, which means the total score, overall score, will go down. So you need to gauge the level of difficulty and attempt the paper to its merit. Just don't attempt because I was able to attempt 20 question in the IMS mock in the English section, I should be able to attempt that much. Let me just look 5 questions. You may end up scoring negative, and that may not help you to score the overall good mark. Correct. Also, try taking some calculated risk. So because it's a speed based exam and the exam is very easy, your attempts will always matter. The number of attempts will matter. Correct. So a lot of time what student does is they don't take risk, and that's a blunder according to me. So when I say take a risk, just don't fluke blindly. What you should be doing is, let's say out of the given options, you boil down to two options. You know that either of these two options is correct in GK or English, in verbal reasoning. That happens, right? uh, if there are, let's say, 7-8 questions where you are confused between two options, out of 8 questions, if you get 3 correct or a 2 correct, you will still be net positive. If you have 3 correct, you will be net positive. Correct. You will have 2, so plus 2, and for the 6th question you will get minus 1.5. You will still be positive. So the chances are high that you will end up scoring good marks, right? So make sure that you attempt the uh, paper to its merit, A, and B, make sure that you take the calculated risk. Okay, I'll take all the Q&A later. I can see some of the students, I'll just take all of them later. Now moving on to the third blunder. 7th is the exam, probably on 4th. So today is 3rd, almost the day is gone. 4th, 5th and 6th, I would say that write the paper, maybe max, I mean, just write one paper. If you're still not confident, write maximum 2. Don't write 3-4 papers in last 3 days. Doesn't work. I would say just write one paper, absolutely fine. Keep yourself relaxed, keep yourself calm, because you need to be fresh enough to write the actual exam, because there will be an add-on pressure, add-on panic on you when you write the exam, the actual exam. So ensure that you are fresh. That's the most important thing, that you need to maintain your composure. So don't write too many mocks is the next learning. And don't the last not the last thing, the second last blunder, I would say that a lot of students, what they do is, because since your school and college are going on, you tend to write the Christ, prepare for Christ mock late night, and you tend to ignore your sleep, or sleep very less, maybe probably 4 or 5 hours. That will not only affect your health, but it will also affect your number of attempts in the exam, because when you are not fresh, you will not be able to think the way you should be able to think in the aptitude exam. So you need to ensure that you have a sound sleep for around 6 to 8 hours, maybe around 7 hours would be an ideal time. 6 to 8 hours of sleep is must necessary. Okay. The last thing, and then I'll take the Q&A. The last thing that you should avoid is, don't over analyze the situation and being too critical about yourself. Yeah, I have written only one mock, two mock, my friend has written five mock. Yeah, I am not able to score 60 plus, 70 plus. How will I score 75, 80? I am not able to score 50, 60. How will I do that? You never know. 7th December could be your day. I have seen students not performing, not clearing cutoff in any of the mock exam and getting into their dream college on that day. They probably score to 3, 4 marks, 5, 6 mark less in all the mocks, and on that day probably they overscore, they surpass the cutoff by a good margin. So you never know that. And you know that for Christ University, the entrance test score is not the only thing which is going to matter. It's, they also take your personal interview and skill assessment. So it is combination of your profile, your acad, your written test, your interviews and everything. So you need to ensure that you are giving, you're writing the paper to its merit and not panicking under the pressure. Otherwise, you will tend to lose marks there, right? Okay, so now let me take the questions. I'm just reading out the questions. Okay, what is a good attempt? I think I said, students generally attempt around 80 to 100 questions. 75 questions attempt with around 90-95% accuracy will be a good. Your target should be around 80 to 100 attempt with around 90-85-90% accuracy, depending upon the attempt that you make. How to prepare for GK? Okay, how to prepare for GK? Don't you think it's too late to ask 3 days before the actual exam? But however, since you have asked, I will address this question. So we have provided you a book for GK, which has a static GK and there's a QR code for the current affairs, correct? So the static GK part, in CRISE, there will be many questions which will be tested on static GK. So we have made a separate video on how to, where we have given detail about what kind of questions are tested in Christ for in the GK section. Those questions are mainly static. There are a few current affairs sections, and this question will be based on books, author, the days, like when is International Men's Day celebrated, or what is on this day, what is this day, where is the International Yoga Day, and blah blah. The name of author and the books that they have written, the Nobel Prize winner, and these are the static the static GK question that Christ generally test on. So ensure that you read that book. Probably just go through this 5, 6 important topic. Probably if you have not done, at least you will be able to get 4 or 5, 5, 6 correct on the day. Correct. How many mocks should we write? So let's assume that you have written no mock till now. I mean, if you're asking this question, I'm assuming that you have not written any mock. Probably you can write one mock tomorrow, that is on 4th, and the second mock on 5th. I think 2 mocks should be more than sufficient. Don't do anything on 6th. Don't overdo it. Otherwise, I don't want you to do anything on 6. Maybe relax. Just revise the speed math, speed calculation, because yes, speed calculation is very essential in CRISE, because you have 1 minute, a minute per question, correct? If I look at the math section, okay, if I look at the math section, in math section we have around 20 question, 20 minutes. Similarly, in data analysis, data interpretation, there are 20 question, 20 minutes. So there are calculation, and if your speed calculation, like two-digit multiplication into 2 digit or reciprocals, and everything is, calculation speed is very fast, you will have an edge over everyone else. So ensure that probably in the last day you work on your speed calculation, do some learn, revise the shortcut techniques, the Vedic math technique that we have taught you. What is good score in IMS mock? In IMS mock, anything more than 65, 70 should be a good score. Our mock slightly on the difficult end. Slightly, when I say that, probably if you are scoring around 70 in the actual, if you are scoring around 65 in actual, you will score around 75-ish, 72 to 75. If you are scoring 70, probably you will score around 79 to 81, 82. You take that buffer of 6, 7 marks in the actual exam. Where do we prepare for GK? I think I answered this question. If I am writing for economics, will there be question? Absolutely, Ria. So if the student were writing for BBA, they have 10 question on accountancy. Similarly, if you're aiming applying for economics, then there will be similar number of questions for economics as well. The paper pattern for all the different specialization for all the different courses is updated on the Christ University website. Okay, rest everything for English, data analysis, quant, GK, rest everything, the question types and everything remains the same. It's just that the domain specific subjects question changes. I think I answered this question, Vivek. The good score, anything in the range of 70 to 70 plus, should be considered as a good score in 90 minutes, considering there's a negative marking. If you give best in 3 section out of 5, will it be good? Why are you saying 5 section? Aren't there 6 section in Christ? Yeah. So, anyways, if you give 3 or 4 section good out of 5 or 6, whatever, 6, I think you should be able to clear the overall. I mean, you should be able to score 70 plus odd marks. I mean, that depend upon which 3 section. Like probably quant, reasoning, and data analysis, which has 60 question. If you do good in that, probably yes. But if you do fundamental accounting, English, and general knowledge, which has what around 30 and 55 questions, GK not 20 question. You won't be able to do extremely good in GK. So I'm discarding that. Okay, so it depend upon which 3 section and how much good you're talking about. But if you're able to score 85% of the marks in the 3 section apart from accountancy, I think you should be able to score good marks. Is the exam online from home? Yes, absolutely, Kabir. I mean, they have update you, right? The timings are also there. I think the exam is going to be in the evening around 7:30, 7:30. The 7 to 8:30, if I'm not mistaken, is the timing. Yeah. I am from IPM BBA batch, sir. And I average 60 to 67 marks out of 120 IMS mark. What is the reflect in the actual guys? I think I said that if you're scoring around 62 to 67 marks, probably you will end up scoring around 72 plus marks, and that will be a very good score in the actual exam. What specifically to revise in quant? Okay, so in quants, Samyak, generally they test you more on arithmetic. Arithmetic and numbers are the area where they test you on. In data analysis, you will also find questions on statistics, average, and everything. Hardly very few questions on geometry or probably geometry. Probably they'll ask you a 3D basic 3D figure, not median and all those things. They don't ask you. Modern maths, binomial, they don't ask you. From modern maths, probably you can expect a question on permutation, combination, probability, and a set theory, and an easy level question, not a very difficult one. Will I be able to use calculator? Calculator is available. Yeah. I am attempting the BSc psychology paper. I did attempt BBA mock to get the hang of GK, reasoning, and English segment. Is there anywhere can course specific mocks? No, we don't have course specific mocks. The mocks which are there are Christ University BBA mocks. Is there a sectional cutoff? So Ananya, they don't disclose any parameter. They don't even disclose what is the weightage of the written test, of the interview, of the acad. There is nothing mentioned on the Christ. It is it's not black and white. It's everything is in gray. So we don't know whether there is section cutoff or not. Can I use rough paper for calculation? Yes, absolutely you can. Sir, what about science student? They don't have any knowledge regarding accounts and economics. So I think that's your bad. I mean, I don't have anything else to say. It depends. I mean, see, that's why there are 10 questions. So if you're a science student, your maths and reasoning, data interpretation should be a better. You should be able to score more marks there. Probably in accounts and economics, you may be able to attempt nothing more. Maybe what I've also observed, I have appeared for Christ exam 2 years back. Wrote the account section. I am an engineer by profession and not studied accounts. Out of 10 questions, I was able to attempt 6 questions in account. So there were few questions which was very common sense. So if you apply common sense, maybe 4 or 5 questions you should be able to attempt in the account section. Yeah. Is there a time limit or constraint of each section? Yes, absolutely, Dave. There is a sectional time limit. I assume that you have not written the IMS Sim Christ mocks yet. A quant is arithmetic unit enough to get around 15, 16. Not 15, 16, but out of 20, you can expect around 11 to 13, 14 questions. Majority 50, 60% of the question will be arithmetic. Okay. Yeah, yeah. It's in the evening. It's in the evening, 7, 7:30. How to attempt? I think I did not get this. So there are questions which are getting repeated. So I'm not reading those again. When will PI video be available? I missed the webinar. Veer, that video would be available in the student portal. We had uploaded the video yesterday itself. How can I get into it? At last, I mean, let's not talk about it right now. We are talking about Christ. Will there be any specific time range or multiple time slots for the test? The hall ticket is already out. If I'm not wrong, today we are on third. The hall ticket should be available. So, yeah. What time they conduct the entrance test and the topics to finish off first to save time? See, Deepa, there since there is sectional time limit, you cannot save time in one section and invest that time in other, right? What time? I think it is in the evening, is what I know. So for all the various, like economics have a different time, psychology has a different time, BBA has a different time. So all the times are different. What I got to know from two students, they have exam in the evening. I think it is 7 p.m. or 7:30 p.m. How to get full? Okay, is quant major factor in Christ? No, the quant is very easy. You know, even if you're not a math student, if you've studied for IPM BBA, I think you should be able to get through. Yes, Aditya, the calculators are available. But trust me, Aditya, you will not need calculator. You know, it's very easy, very straightforward. Though you'll not need any calculator as such. Can I use graphic display? No, you cannot use your own calculator. If the on-screen calculator is something that you need to use it. Okay. Uh, can I can I use graphic? Okay. Is the interview conducted only if the student passes in the written test? No. So everyone who gives the written test will have to go for the personal interview and the skill assessment and micro presentation round, which is called as PI, MP, and SA round. When will the round, next coming round of Christ test, and which campus of Christ preferred one? So, what we have got to know from the Christ University is that on 8th of December, they are going to give the detail of the next round. Okay, and which campus to prefer? So, obviously, you will prefer the central campus and the Banerghatta campus in that particular order, and then the remaining other campus. You can then move to Yashwantpura, Kangari, and then the off campuses, which is Lavasa, Delhi, NCR. Uh, how do I check what time price entrance test? Also, what type of calculator is allowed? Is the on-screen calculator? You cannot use your own calculator. What unit of quant should we do right now to get 15, 16 current? Focus on arithmetic, PNC, probability, set theory, and number divisibility, HCF, LCM. Focus on this. I think 15, 16 question, you should be able to easily get it. In exam, what chapter is more? I think I have been answering this question. Will receive all ticket via email. No, Veer, you will have to log into the Christ portal and you will have to download the details from there. You will able to get the timing and everything. You have to write the test from the home is what we know, but what time and everything you will get on the Christ website itself. I mean, once you log into your portal. How exactly will the test be proctored? So you will have to on your camera, do the mic testing. They will ask you to rotate, have a look at the room, and there will be random testing. You know, there is some invigilator who is sitting and checking on the screen if there are no movements. So I know I have done when I wrote 2 years back. I did, you know, I moved here and there, and you know, the invigilator immediately tells that you know you're not supposed to move, you're not supposed to look anywhere else apart from the computer. So they keep on looking at you. How to prepare for micro presentation for BCom investment? So there is no specific topic for BCom investment. Micro presentation is micro presentation. If you watch the video, the session that I conducted on micro presentation, I think you will have a fair bit of clear idea about what type of question or what is expected in micro presentation. How to solve BBR and MSP sums? So, I mean, BBR and MSP. Okay. Is this some Gen Z code term? I mean, I'm probably you will have to elaborate it for me. Whoever it is, Atharva. Can we use a rough sheet pad for solving sums? Yes. How can we stand out in personal interview? I think we discussed this in the session that I took on Monday. Our GK should our GK should be how well as English. I think I did not understood this question. Are there differences between the sectional arrangement between IMS mocks and actual grad mocks? In mock 4 of IMS, it is structured differently. Uh, is it structured differently as in Vivek? I'll have to check because it's there. It's as per the paper pattern which is there on their website. Yes, if you complete general knowledge section early, you won't be able to switch to the con section. Yes, absolutely yes. How to prepare for micro presentation? We have discussed this. Can we give multiple round of tests? Yes, you can. Why central campus better? Just so why is a particular college better than other? It depends on various parameter like the placement, the faculty, how long the curriculum is, and what do the student of this campus feels about it. Are the tests online done from home? Yes, it is from home. Can we switch between section? No, you cannot. The ones writing for Christ, BBA, is there a micro presentation? Yes, there is. Micro presentation is part of your interview process. So yeah, was the screen on Monday recorded? Yes, it is uploaded in the student portal. What is the format of MBB section? Okay, what's the level of difficulty of GK as well as English? The level of difficulty through is pretty doable. I when I gave like last year out of 10 GK question, I was able to attempt 7. I did not prepare for it. The students every year say that 6 7 to ho jate hai. English is very easy. So English is on the very simpler, easier side. The questions to fill in the prepositions and vowels are also tested at times. They don't disclose the cutoff alpha. What are the main topics for? I think I have answered all the question. For all the students who have joined late, probably you can refer to the video that we have been discussing. I think everything about interviews and everything. Let's not discuss here. I have taken the session, and I think I will be. We have done it. The detailed video on it. Just go and watch that video. I think it should be done. Now, since the questions are repeating, I think let's end this session. All the best for your exam, and ensure that you come out with flying colors. Bye bye, everyone.